weight loss, mm, some weights here, but you can have multiple sizes of babies. And this one, trip to the Mars, maybe. Where do you get those things? I sort of, not just those things. We have a football game going on in the background where I must go and I always wanted to go on that first ball. Wow, that was enough. Right as I said no. That's some meetings with overlaps where first you're like synchronicities, when you think of that. Something that developed or started. I don't remember like too many meetings in this one. Sort of manufactured life prior to these 3 years. Synchronicities happening as much as when I first passing. Driving lines like in that headspace when you allow for those things to happen. I know, but kind of becomes like looking for a sign. But then if your timing is in lion's parts, most people take that as a sign. It happened once to them. What if that's and you say love, someone says love, same time as like a heart pops up on screen and you get a notification from someone texting you and says, love you, and you're just like, so love. But I've also noticed that same thing with things that are not significant to me that are more or less mundane, just, more objective and more just like, don't necessarily relate to me, at least at that point, maybe personally, or doesn't, is more of just like affects, just an emotion, just a message, thing. So, yeah, there's an overlap. That's weird. So then it's just like, is that just my timing? Or is that a sign to be taken seriously? Or, because it's just how it is every minute from now. So, what is there to be done? It's like significant. Does that make sense? Like, if I take it as something that's significant for me, you align with just a lot of things happening. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're important. I also said love at the same time. Maybe it's just driving to the You know what I mean? And there's just so many ways of looking at that one specific instance. So just take all into account and try and listen so that you can make sense of it. And just learn about it. I mean, it's very complicated. It takes a lot of experiencing those things and taking out of them, but cumulatively trying to make sense of it and be objective and be heard of the same time, or like the kind of thing. And just, I don't know, just look at it and also take a point of view, perspective. Because it does almost lessen the personal sense of it when it happens all the time. And see how it applies to a lot of different people. It's just the very essence of like an overlapping up or the landmark with something that's being said on the radio. There has to usually be something else going on. we compare it to, obviously, but for that to occur, but TV on the background, radio or something. Just, but like anything. Sometimes it's like super surprising. Something maybe the train of thought not necessarily be like your instinctual thought. One example I gave of like getting a phone call or text from a specific person and it would be about a wedding. And within like a certain time period, it was like 4 minutes. So I asked how many minutes, and I got like the three watts. It was. I found that maybe 4 minutes later, she didn't miss exact, I think it was. That's why it like, really freaked me out that it was and that person 2 minutes later. And it was about a wedding, but just not in any sort of like way that I would have maybe thought. Like he had a lot of friends were getting married. He was at a wedding, or he maybe found a wedding dress. He worked in like vintage warehousing, stuff like clothing, and like the most vintage stores of machine. There's so many clients on just to like the good work. You get all interesting clothes and then show them to me and I got fashion that way and then school them. They teach me. It's about how high school. And so I made albums of them. So that's such a thought. So oh, the wedding dress. Maybe those random things in that maybe the wedding dressing, show me like a tacky 80s wedding dress picture. Or he's getting married, maybe, I don't know, or he's going to a wedding, needs a date, I don't know. So that would be my like possibilities I'd come up with. I don't know why else he would text me about it. But it was that he was at a bar and another wedding party stopped in that bar after the ceremony and they did like shots or something, took a picture of the couple. It's like I made friends with them, or something. I should tell you about it. I was like, okay, you don't know things. So it was not surprising to get a random text from him or that something like that could happen, but that would not be my first thought. But that's the like that difference in what I would naturally think or make of that combination of elements. Feeling it's that person in a bad wedding and what the actual so that I think just stuck with me because it just yeah shows how we can be as logical as possible and just go on experience as well and just not even get there at all, you know. So and how unpredictable things are. Something unpredictable and that's right. Okay, so it's just very situational, always in your way. And it showed me how little control I actually have in knowing how the future's going to go. Basically, we have some vague idea. My clothes are vaguely folded and it's a little messy in here, but they're like sort of stacked and sort of, you know, on a couch because I don't have shelving yet. So I'm trying my best, but it's also like, it's better than what I see a lot of people just goes everywhere. Can't even see the floor. I'm just like, I like this. So, to each their own timing. Um, and, and that's why I went for just, and that's, if you, I mean, that's because I was just waiting on like something, I don't remember what I remember being Walgreens had with me. It was like waiting for something for my mom or something like that. But I had my tarot cards with me. I just happened to have, that situation where it's like, well, show me something new and tell me something's gonna happen. It's like a short period of time. Um, and but had I not, I mean, like that in itself takes initiative and just a situation that's empty available for you to have that occurrence. So, and then make something of it and like put it all together. I mean, it is a lot of thought. It's a lot of, I mean, you do have to kind of like step away, but also be present and yeah, to like also pretend like you could dictate when maybe an important message is supposed to come in from the ethers or is just so arrogant to me. And again, I question, is that even my place you know, to at all affect purposely in the sense of like going after predictions and going after what the future holds, um, whether it has to do with me or not, like, and it's just, there's so many ethical and moral questions about that too. And, um, and I think I wouldn't want to presume, and then to force something else that doesn't usually work. But at the same time, the timing is really constant. So it's just like trying to piece together what actually significant in a sense to build upon to extract from all of these occurrences and all these ways of looking at it and so, if so much of it is constant and so much of it is intentional and has to take initiative and energy and like then try and find a good balance in that and then in your place in the wave like what's your second tower should you even ask to know that I mean I think that's very it's something to really research within any scholars, things like that, since Jesus was also a prophet. But then, Bible warns against all these kinds of like witchcraft, I think, and like I don't know if they use exact like obviously not psychic, but like fortune tellers, that kind of thing. And modern way of looking at things, we're all a little bit psychic and we're all a little bit intuitive and we're all connected. So, we all affect each other. So, you know, cause so ripple effect, butterfly effect. I mean, it's almost too much to even try to comprehend. And when all these things seem to like just strangely, bizarrely intertwine that you find so many years later, it makes sense in this completely different way. And it just like feels like you're completely out of time, like literally stepped out of time. It's like around you. And you're just like, as this whirlwind of time moments swirl around you, you're just like picking one, and you're just like, no, it makes sense. Um, but it doesn't. You're just like, how could this be, at the same time? And you're trying to make sense of it for yourself as well and feel comfortable with some elements or aspects of the fact that, like, your life sort of aligns with things and that can be sometimes distressing or you don't know what to do with that. And, and you just kind of trying to do the best in that. And also live like a normal life and make ends meet and like, and balance social life, family and time, relaxing and living as well. So it's just like a lot to try to manage within your own life and taking these kind of overwhelming experiences or concepts that can also build upon it and become even more coming as one intersection where Sean Paul was back. Um, and then to then feel like people are respecting it or going to blame you or getting basically saying that you should give that out. You know what I mean? It's just like very, like, I mean, if you're not in my position, you probably wouldn't think about it as much. And to this point, we were like, look to for predictions when you're like, I'm trying to live. And then people are like blaming you and like literally going into your personal private computer home and just to get those sort of future sort of that I'm not even sure I'm entitled to know, even if I'm the one who notices something, let alone anyone else, let alone me to tell, it's my decision to even tell. You know what I mean? So, and especially when it's so vague and you're just like, and these are just kind of accumulation of noteworthy things I pick up on or happen, occurrences, overlaps, like you have some, and like the stories, I don't even know if that's going to at all be close to what it's getting at. And, it's just, it's always a surprise too. For me, even if you have some sort of vague idea of what combination of things are to expect, it could be completely, I mean, like, that's what's kind of magical about it too. And that's great because you would never want to get to the point where you just always know everything. But I mean, like, I'm so excited when something surprises me. That's like, yeah, I mean, I tend to think of like every possible like outcome of things or like, and I try to or subconsciously do or, yeah. So, I mean, I think it's very much an entitled attitude, especially when it's like can be very distressing on its own sometimes and confusing. And then add in every person in the world putting their responsibility, blame, and taking from your life and using it like fucking machine as if you're not living it. I mean, it's just like you're going through your own emotions and kind of extracting this from you and applying it to other people. I mean, it's very fucking upsetting, especially taken at all at all times and like happening all times to me in my life, and then you can't turn on TV or and people are telling you your life's not real, and it's just like super distressing, super stressful, super upsetting, and super unnerving. It's just really unnecessary and really spoiled way of looking at things, and is ruining things. That's not professional. So it just need people to know that that is not something I'm willing to continue doing in that way or allowing to affect my life in that way. So people need to be respectful and respect my privacy and my boundaries and my time and my personal and public work life, um, and what I say, and not just when it works for them. So honestly, that is my like last appeal to people. Like people need to fucking cut it out. It's not a game. My life's not a game. I like to make connections and find those in images and symbolism within these videos, especially beginning of all this. Your video themes, and it's my version of videos, finding connections between videos. And John Lennon's like mind games, kind of played into all that with all these codes and words, lyrics, and things like that. And that's but I was never playing mind games with other, like add other people. I was never doing any sort of malicious. I'm just looking for connections within videos, within playlists, and trying to build a web codex. And I thought I was very clear about that. And not to be fucked with, and I'm not here to cater to anyone or waste my time or be, I don't know, hurt on the regular and disrespected daily or people's entertainment or profit or anything like that. There needs to be direct communication, contracts, all that, because I have not ever received that. So, there's just not any official way for anyone to influence my building resentment to me because I don't think it's conducive or, yeah, efficient to any sort of healthy working environment, studio, practice, anything. Any job. So, I was more willing to help people in those moments. So instead of blaming and punishing me for their own problems. So that is my perspective. That's how I think about things. That's how I feel about things. And it's, you know, I ain't fucking English. I don't think I need to ever have to say anything again. And if there's ever going to be any sort of action between myself and other people, professional or otherwise, there has to be clear communication and direct communication with me. And I won't work under certain conditions. I won't work in certain professions, and I will definitely not be coaching how I or forced into a situation that I'm unhappy with. It work for me that I'm not interested in. So please know that you would not do those things either. And please don't expect something of me that you wouldn't expect of yourselves.